In this lesson, I explore the rhyme patterns Ike, I-K-E, and Ake, A-K-E. And to do so, I would start by introducing this book and reading it aloud to my students. So it's called I'm Gonna Like Me, and it's by Jamie Lee Curtis. In general, I feel like it's a really good book to read to students because it's fun, it's upbeat, there's lots of pictures, and also it has a great message, really teaching students to love themselves no matter what. And I feel like that's really important to spread within schools right now. But in addition, it also fits really well with teaching the Ike rhyme pattern and introducing that first. So as you can see, like is in the title, and as you kind of go along, you can kind of see that it is also in most of the pages. So every sentence starts with I'm gonna like me, and then a different scenario where the kids in the book are liking themselves. So it really has that repetition of the word like, which I think is important when going back and referencing the book when I talk about the rhyme patterns. So I'm also teaching Ike and Ake together, and I feel like it's important to pair them together for they are more advanced, and I would imagine that this lesson will be taught towards the end of first grade or even as a review in the beginning of second grade. I'm teaching it under the assumption that students have already had experience and practice with VCE words with that silent E. So words such as mad versus made, I'm assuming that they would have already explored those into some detail. So understanding that the E is a silent E or a magic E, and that they are able to add that to the word to make the vowel the long sound. So in mad, the A is a short vowel sound, but when you add the E, it becomes a long vowel sound. So I'm teaching this under the assumption that they have already kind of understood that. But teaching these two together is good because it takes it that step further, and students are able to really get a full glimpse at different words that would work together and following that VCE pattern. I'm gonna like me. I already do. But enough about me. How about you? So the book that we just read has a very important word in there, the word like. Does anybody remember that word from there? Yeah, so anybody who's reading this book and is reading that word knows the rhyme pattern Ike. Okay, so today we're going to be talking a little bit about that. So to make the word like, we have to start with our first letter, L, and our rhyme pattern I, K, and E. Okay, so the first letter, L, we can sound out together. It makes the L sound, right? Can everyone say that with me?
L.
From there we have I, K, E. The I in this is a long I sound, so it makes the I sound. The K makes a K sound. And the E is a silent E. So if you remember what we know about silent E's, they're also called our magic E's. So remember, our magic E's make our vowels the long sound. So altogether, Ike makes the I, K silent. So altogether we say Ike. Can everyone say that with me?
Ike.
And when we put our U, our L, in front, we have like. Say that with me?
Like.
Awesome. So we can make a lot of different words that rhyme with like because we know our rhyme pattern Ike. So I'm going to take a letter and I'm going to make bike. So what I did to change that is I took my L, I took it away, and I replaced it with my letter B. Now let's sound this out together. So the B makes the B sound. Can you say that with me?
B.
And we remember our rhyme pattern Ike. Say that with me?
Ike.
So all together we sound out the first letter B, and we say Ike. B, Ike. And together we have
Bike.
Awesome. So what we need to do is we need our last three letters in our rhyme pattern to make sure that we know that we can sound them out. So, does anybody know any other words that might rhyme with bike? Yeah.
Hike.
Hike. Awesome. So if I take my B off and I take my H, I hear the sound in the hike, and I'll put it right there, and that's how we can make hike. So what I'd like you to do now is I want you to look at your whiteboards that I have in front of you and your markers, And I want you to write Ike out. But before you do, can someone remind me what 3 letters make up Ike? Yeah?
I-K-E.
Great. Okay, I-K-E. So write Ike on your boards for me. And hold them up when you have it. Awesome. So everyone has their I, their K, and their E. So erase it for me right now, please. Now, can you write Ike really, really big on your board for me? Great, those are really, really big. Now, erase those for me. And now I want you to write it very, very small. Oh my goodness, I need glasses to see those. I don't even see them. Very good. All right, now I want you to erase this. And I want you to write Ike in the bottom right-hand corner for me. Great. Okay, erase those. And now last one. I want you to write Ike in your silliest handwriting. As silly as you can make it. Ooh, that's silly. I love it. Awesome. Yes. Very, very silly. Okay, so you can erase your boards. You guys did a great job writing Ike out. So now we're going to turn our attention back to this board, and I have my Ike still up here, but I'm going to put my B back up here because I want to think a little bit more about the word bike. So remember, we sound out our first letter, B, and we find our rhyme pattern, Ike. So anybody who knows the rhyme pattern Ike will be able to read lots and lots of words. But now I want to take this I, and I want to change it to an A. So now instead of bike, we have the word bake. So let's try and figure out how I was able to read that. So we have the B, and it makes the B sound. Can everyone make the B sound for me?
B.
And now we have ache. Can everyone say that with me? Ache. So I'm going to take the B away. We're going to just focus on these 3 letters. So just like we had in bike, we had our I-K-E like you were all writing, and now we have our A-K-E. So bike and bake, they sound really, really similar, right? I'm going to say them slowly, and I want you to think to yourself, what is different between the 2? So we have B-ike and B-ache. Does anyone know what might be the difference between the 2? Yeah.
The Ike and ache.
Great. Awesome. So about the Ike and the ache. To make the Ike, we remember we need what 3 letters? You can remind me. Yes.
The I, the K, and the E.
Great. And then to make the ache, we don't want the I sound, right? Because that makes the long I sound. The A sound makes what letter? What letter makes that sound? Yeah.
A.
Great. So we don't want the I, but instead we want the A. So that's how we make the ache sound. We have the long A, just like we have the long I, and it makes the A sound. Then we have our K, which makes the k sound. And then we have our silent E again. So remember, our silent E is also our magic E. And our magic E goes back to our vowel, and it makes it a long sound. So when we want to make our word say bake, we put the B in front, and we have b-ache. Can anyone think of any other words that might rhyme with bake? Yeah.
Rake.
Rake, awesome. So let's think about that word. How would we need to change this? So I'm going to take the B away. I'm going to leave our rhyme pattern ache up. And we think about rake. We say, What makes that sound? What letter makes that sound? Yeah.
R.
R. So we're going to add our R to the front. And now we have ache. Great. Can anyone think of another word that might rhyme with rake or bake? Yes.
Snake.
Snake. That's a really good one. So instead of just having one letter in front, we have to think about our blend, right? What 2 letters make the blend?
S and N.
Great. Awesome. So we're going to take my S, and I'm going to find my N. And all together, now this is a bigger word, we have ache. So just like we had with Ike, if we know our rhyme pattern, A-K-E, we can read a lot of different words because now we just have to look at the front two letters, right? So what I would like you to do is I want you to look at your whiteboard and write A-K-E out for me again. Write the ache pattern. And when you're done, hold it up for me. Great. Awesome. Okay, erase it now. This time, I want you to write it on the left side of your board. Anywhere on the left. Great. Perfect. Now, I want you to erase it. I want you to write it to the right. Great. Awesome. And I like the way that you had it up and you had it down. Okay, erase it and one more time. I would like you to write it as small as possible. Ooh, so teeny tiny, but we both have A-K-E in it. Awesome. All right, so I'm going to ask you to erase your boards now. And do you mind if I borrow these real quick? So you each have a bag of manipulatives that have letters in them. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to open your bags and take out the letters that you have. Then, on your boards, I'm going to ask that you take some of your letters and you try to think of any I-K-E or A-K-E words that you think of and put them on your board. If you need help, remember that it's okay to sound them out. So, like the word bake that we had, you can say out loud, b-ache, and try and think of what letters you have and what letters you might need. So you can ask me questions while you're making your letters, but I'm going to take a look at what you might think of, okay? Go ahead. I like the way that you guys are sounding out what letters you might need. Ooh. Linda, what letters did you use to make that word?
L-A-K-E.
And what word is that?
Lake.
Awesome. And I like the way that you started and you sounded out your first letter, O, to make up your ache. Great. What word do you have over here, Ethan?
Rake.
Rake. Awesome. And what letters did you think of to make this word?
R, A, K, and E.
And how did you know to use that?
Because we learned it before.
Great. Okay, give you one more minute. Think about other words that you can use.